In this section, we'll be covering equitable treatment, including equitable treatment of participants, the complaints process, and the civil rights statement. So first, equitable treatment of participants. Farmers must treat participants equitably, including in these categories. First up, in the selection of produce, the produce items that are made available to program participants must be of the same quality and cost as items sold to customers using any other form of payment. Additionally, the payment process must be the same for participants and all other customers. There may be no special lines for payment using the Produce Incentive Program benefits from any other form of payment. And finally, customer service. Program participants should be treated with the same courtesy and respect as any other customer that uses any form of payment. Monitoring. DC Health is responsible for monitoring farmers for all DC Produce Incentive Programs, so that includes WIC and Senior FMMP and Produce Plus. Annually, DC Health will monitor at least 10% of farmers. This process is outlined in the Farmer Manual step by step, and a description of all of the potential violations is also in the Farmer Manual, but violations are divided into 4 classes. The least severe class, Class 1, will result in a written warning. Class 2 violations would result in a citation that requires additional training. All the violations that DC Health has cited are Class 1 and Class 2 violations. So these more severe violations have not occurred, and we hope that they continue to not occur. But a Class 3 violation would result in program suspension and possibly disqualification, and a Class 4 violation would result in permanent disqualification. The most common observations we've seen in the past and their accompanying corrective action. So the most common would be, and these are all Class 1 violations, the most common would be failure to display the farmer poster. Displaying the farmer poster is important both for farmers to make sure that they're marketing to participants and for participants to be able to find farmers. And so failure to do so would result in a corrective action from DC Health to the farmer, instructing the farmer to hang their poster during market hours. Another violation that's quite common is failure to display the farm name. And so that would result in a corrective action to display the farm name during market. Similarly, failure to display prices. Displaying prices is a requirement. It's helpful to participants, but it is a requirement of the program. And so failure to do so would result in DC Health instructing the farmer to display their prices during market hours. And finally, violating the eligible foods list, such as selling eggs or a processed food product with the benefits. This can be common, but it is important not to do so. But violating the eligible foods list would result in DC Health requiring the farmer to train personnel on eligible foods and to provide proof of that training to DC Health. Now to get into the formal complaint process. So complaints may be provided to the USDA if you believe you've been subjected to discrimination in any USDA program. The complaint form can be found online on the USDA website, at a USDA office, or by calling the number on the screen. And to submit that complaint form, that can be done through the complaint portal, which can be found in the USDA website. By mailing in the form or by email at program.intake@usda.gov. If you would like to make a complaint to DC Health related to any of the DC Produce Incentive Programs, there's a few ways that you can do so. This could include reporting fraud or some kind of abuse in the program. And participants, market managers, and farm staff are all welcome to do this. So it can be found on the DC Health website. There's a complaint form that can be completed, and that can be found on the DC Health website. You could call the DC Farmers Market hotline. This is generally the participant hotline, but this is where complaints should be logged, and that's written there on the screen. And finally, at email by farmers at farmersmarket@dc.gov. If you feel that you need to appeal a decision or an action that's been taken by DC Health, which affects you or your business's participation in WIC and Senior FMP, this can be done through the Office of Administrative Hearing. We do just ask that if you are making a fair hearing request, just to include us on that request. And here is the complete USDA civil rights statement. This is here and in the farmer manual for your review as needed. You'll often see this abridged version of the civil rights statement. This institution is an equal opportunity provider on many of our materials. Finally, the knowledge check. So first, true or false. Authorized farmers can have a separate line for DC Produce Incentive Program participants. And true or false, the quality and price of items sold by authorized farmers should be the same for all customers regardless of the payment type.